So I have a little bit of good news for everyone. I finished the artwork for Day and Night for the 30 card pre-con decks, 30 day, 30 night cards. They're not really split up that way, but that's the best I could do them for the pre-con decks. So it kind of gives a little bit of a theme to each one. So I thought in recognition of that, finishing the artwork, I should open these up and show you what a single play hand looks like. I've opened these before. I think I've shown them off before, but this is what the sample cards look like. Little instruction little instruction card on how to play. And some of the cards are full art. Some of them are this filler art that I've used for now. But now they're all done, so I can actually produce this with proper art on it. And we can get to proper play testing of the actual cards with their abilities and stats and whatnot. That's the day deck. Let me open up the quote-unquote night deck. It's not, like I said, an actual night deck. Because the night deck in it has this card, which is our day and night card. Keeps track of these cycles of day and night, which is what we do in this game. So let me shuffle this up. Please ignore my terrible riffle shuffling, but this is how I shuffle cards. I'm not the best at it, but it does tend to mix them up a bit, which is all we really need to do in this kind of environment. It's just showing off how this works. Okay, so now we've got some shuffled up cards. Opponent would shuffle theirs as well. You draw 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we can look at our cards and what we got going on here. So what happens is you start the game. Everyone draws their 5 cards. There's no mulligans, anything like that as of yet. Again, please remember this is early days. You draw your 5 cards and you start. Player 1 is determined randomly, however you see fit at this point. There is no dice, nothing else needed other than what's in these 2 decks of cards. So you pick it however you want. I mean, one way was you flip over the top card. Whoever's got a higher number of the day or night, whichever one you determine, they go first. Whatever method you choose is the method you use, basically. What happens is the game starts. I'll go as player 1. I start with my opening hand. Here's my values of cards and what they cost for me to play on my first turn at dawn. So we start the day at dawn. So at dawn, I have cards that cost these values here. If we were on the night side of this card, they would cost the values on the night side. How do we pay for these cards? We mill cards off the top of our library face down. Everything is always played face down. So what we do is we look at our cards, we look at some of the abilities. Some of the will changes. I will have a name on these cards. It was suggested to me by my good friend at Boundless that name should be on there because if not, you don't really know what the cards are to call them, sort of thing. You can call them man with glasses on, sort of thing, or what these ones right now are just blurry, right? And it would be easier to differentiate, you know, what the card does. Right now I have to read each and every one. For example, all cards played from your hand during the night cost 1 less to play. It's probably not something too bad to get out before the night season happens. What else do we have here? Advance the season tracker by 1 season. If that would end the game, complete the current day or night cycle, then end the game. Some of the wording is going to change too. Seasons aren't in effect in the starter sets. That's only in the eventual release set. So some of this wording has to change. As long as this card is on the field, there is a second midnight event after the first midnight event. Twilight to dusk, this card gets -1. And remove any card on the field with a day ability, then discard this card. Or during the day, remove any card on the field, then discard this card. So I'm going to play this one because it only costs 2 to play during the day, not 4. I play the card. I mill 2 cards to play that card. And then I pass the turn to my opponent. My opponent takes their 5 cards. And now they play something, because we're still on dawn, if they want. That's usually they want to play something inexpensive during the day because we're not towards the end of the day cycle yet. If this played at dawn, this card costs 1 less to play. That's not bad. Return this card from the field. Return a card from the field to its owner's hand. It's pretty good. Kind of puts this player on a backwards track. So we're going to play that card. It's 1 less to play because we're during dawn. We'll mill those 2. This returns to my hand. Now, instead of going back to player 1, player 2 takes the morning turn. We turn this dial to morning, and now they take a turn. And this is how we kind of balance the turn order, right? They draw a card. So they have 5 in their hand again. This is part of the play testing is, do we always have to have 5 or do you just draw every time this rotates? I don't know as of yet. We're still working on that. And by we, I mean me and you guys. So now we can look at anything else we want to play. If this card is on the field after dusk, steal one of your opponent's cards from the field. It is now the same as this card with this card's abilities and stats. During the day, this card has no value. So it costs me 3 to put out during the day, but it carries no value. That's fine. Let's look at some other day cards maybe we can put. Remove any card with a night value of 5 or less from the field. Well, there is nothing on there right now. What's the new card we picked up? Midday. Draw 2 cards, put 1 back on top of your library, and keep 1 in your hand. It's not bad, but we'd probably want to play that at night when it only costs us 2 to play. So we're not going to play any cards, and we're just going to pass our turn back. Our opponent, player 1, draws for turn. Now, we should play something. We have 6 cards. We can play that one we played before, which, if memory serves, was this one. So we're going to probably play that one again. And I'll tell you why in a minute. We're going to pay 2 for that. And now, do we have anything that we should play during the morning phase? Choose an opponent's card with less value than this card and discard it. Then discard this card. It's pretty good. Gets this one off the field. So I think we're going to do that. Costs us 3 to get that one out. Then we discard this card. They discard their card. Do we play more? We probably want to get something that keeps us more midnights, but we can wait till later in the day to play that. So we're going to stop our turn. Then it comes back to our turn again. We draw. Because like I said, you get double turn sort of thing. Sorry, it rotates to midday. Next player goes. Do we have anything here that's worthwhile to play? Most of our stuff is cheaper at night. So I think we're just going to pass the turn over. Day player picks up their deck, draws a card. Picks up their hand, I should say, draws a card. We're going to play something down and then fast forward through so you can see how a day cycle ends. So we are going to play, let's see. Search your library for a card with day cost less or equal than 3. Reveal it and put it in your hand. Shuffle your library. That's going to take a little bit too much time. Let's do something that's a little bit faster. We're just going to play down this one here. Dusk. If this card is on the field after dusk, steal one of your opponent's cards from the field. It's now the same as this card. So we're going to play that one down. It costs us 3 to play. So we're going to mill 3 cards from our 1, 2, 3 from our deck. And then we would turn to afternoon, and they would take another turn. This player would take a turn. And then when we flip over to dusk, before we trigger the dusk, so when we flip it over, before it actually does anything, we compare values on the board during the day. So we see that this character, Twilight to Dusk, this card gets -1. It is not Twilight to Dusk. We are during the, where are we here? We're still at the dawn phase. We're still at the afternoon phase. So we're not Twilight to Dusk, so we're still valued at 2. This one here is valued at 3 because it's during the day. We compare the 2 numbers and subtract them. So what's left is 1 on this side of the field and 0 on this side. Once we do the math, that 1 translates through to a card mill. So we mill 1 card. This player on this side lost that day cycle. We flip over to the night cycle. Oops. Flip over to the night cycle, and the turns start again. And we back and forth again, rotating. And when we reach the end, we again compare numbers, and whoever has the higher number, the difference of it is milled from that person. When you've completed the game, either based on time, based on a preset amount of turns, or based on decking out, that's how you know who won. So if we deck out, whoever is decked out has lost. If you don't deck out, you count the cards left in your deck, and whoever has more cards left in their deck has won. If you say you're going to limit yourself to, let's say, 4 flips, 8 flips, whatever it is, however many days you want the cycles to go for. And that's how you play day and night. And I hope you enjoy it. I'll make the Tabletop Simulator mod updated with all the new artwork as soon as I can, so you can try it out there. And hopefully I'll make this available on the Game Crafter if you actually want to order and try some of this pre-release stuff. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments, or, you know, a lot of you know me personally, so send me direct messages or whatever, and we'll see where this can go. I'm really excited about it. I want to grow it beyond, obviously, these 2 starter decks, but for now, let's try and get some balancing going here and see how it plays out. Thanks for watching. See you later. Bye.